Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Thira Vanachari Yamuna Thira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Pada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribraj Acharya Ashtottara Sata Sri Sanad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anatakoti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Jai Sri Sri Radha Golokananda Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Mathuradan Ki Jai Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga and Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 74, text 27 and 28, and I'm going to also read 29 and 30. We're just going to chant 27. Tat padav avanijyapa Sirasha loka pavani Sabharya sanujamatya Sakutumbo vahanmuda Tat padav avanijyapa Shirasha loka pavani Sabharya sanujamatya Sakutumbo vahanmuda Tatpada vavanijyapa Shirasha loka pavani Sabharya sanujamatya Sakutumbo vahanmuda Avanijyapa Shirasha loka pavani Sabharya sanujamatya Sakutumbo vahanmuda Tatpada vavanijyapa Shirasha loka pavani Sabharya sanujamatya Sakutumbo vahanmuda Tat, his, pado, feet, avanija, washing, apaha, the water, sirasa, on his head, loka, the world, pavani, which purifies, sa, with, bharya, his wife, Sa, with. Anuja, his brothers. Amatya, and his ministers. Sa, with. Kutumba, his family. Vahan, carrying. Muda, with pleasure. And that's covering verse 27, which is all I'll read. Translation. After bathing Lord Krishna's feet, Maharaj Yudhisthira joyfully sprinkled the water upon his own head, and then upon the heads of his wife, brothers, other family members, and ministers. That water purifies the whole world. As he honored the Lord with presentations of yellow silken garments and precious jeweled ornaments, the king's tear-filled eyes prevented him from looking directly at the Lord. Please repeat. After bathing Lord Krishna's feet, Maharaj Yudhisthira joyfully sprinkled the water upon his own head, and then upon the heads of his wife, brothers, and other family members and ministers. That water purifies the whole world. As he honored the Lord with presentations of yellow silken garments and precious jeweled ornaments, the king's tear-filled eyes prevented him from looking directly at the Lord. I'm also going to read the translations for 29 and 30. When they saw Lord Krishna thus honored, nearly all who were present joined their palms reverentially, exclaiming, "Obeisances to you, all victory to you," and then bowed down to him. Flowers rained down from above. The intolerant son of Damagosh became infuriated upon hearing the glorification of Lord Krishna's transcendental qualities. He stood up from his seat and, angrily waving his arms, fearlessly spoke to the entire assembly the following harsh words against the Supreme Lord. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, quote, "In that meeting, King Shishupal was also present. He was an avowed enemy of Krishna for many reasons, especially because of Krishna's having stolen Rukmini from the marriage ceremony. Therefore, he could not tolerate such honor to Krishna and glorification of his qualities. Instead of being happy to hear the glories of the Lord, he became very angry. Srila Viswanath Chakravarti mentions that the reason Shishupal did not object when Sahadev proposed Krishna for the Agra Puja is that Shishupal wanted to ruin King Yudhisthira's sacrifice. If Shishupal had argued earlier against Lord Krishna's receiving the first worship and another person had been selected, the sacrifice would have proceeded normally. Therefore, Shishupal allowed Krishna to be selected, waited until the worship was over, and then spoke up, hoping in this way to demonstrate that the sacrifice was now spoiled. Thus, he would ruin the endeavor of Maharaj Yudhisthira. In this regard, the Acharya quotes the following Smriti reference: Apuja yatra pujante pujanam cha vyatikrama. In the place to those who are actually worshipable. No, wait. In the place where those who are not to be worshipped are worshipped, there is offense to those who are actually worshipable. There is also the following statement: Pratibhadnati hi shreya puja puja vyatikrama. Improperly understanding who is to be worshipped and who is not to be worshipped will impede one's progress in life. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So welcome to everybody and to all those who are online. So here in verse 30, Shishupal begins to speak enviously of the Supreme Lord. And this reminds me of an event that happened to me recently. Yesterday on Facebook, I wrote that Krishna has decided to keep me in a certain economic condition for now because none of my efforts were bearing fruit. So actually, this world is like a prison, and there's an automatic system of karma that runs all our lives. And it is partly held in what's called the dashas, planetary periods that run automatically and rule certain parts of your life, and none of us can escape it. And I'm in a certain period that is stark and barren. So that's the way it is. Now, in my mood of being a devotee, I wrote, Krishna is doing this to me because I see everything is coming from Krishna, even though I could say it's coming from the demigods, from the automatic system. But I wrote that it's Krishna, and one man wrote in the comments on my post the following, and he speaks like Shishupal. Das, I have admired your work for a long time, but I wonder why you persist in giving away your power to Hindu images or gods. Could it be that they are what stand in your way of prosperity? Yeah, it's nonsense. Are you waiting for permission to succeed? All religions satisfy our mind, emotions, imagination, and memories, but they can stand in the way of further growth in consciousness. My feeling is that you are shooting yourself in the foot and need to realize and embrace your authentic power. I respect your devotion, but we do not need imagined gods to run our lives. Do you feel unworthy to succeed? Do you believe you must suffer in service to attain? So, we see here Shishupal's mentality, one of envy of the Supreme. These people, all these souls in this material world, most people, they cannot stand that a God would be one's all in all. They think they have power separate from God. Note the baseless thought in his speaking that we have power separate from God's grant, God's will. He says, why do you persist in giving away your power to Hindu images or gods? The image of God has no reality in his mind. Let's take Sahadev's statements, on the other hand, from an earlier verse 21. Sahadev, that is one of the younger Pandavas. He says in verse 21, just prior, he says, the entire universe is founded upon him, speaking about Krishna, as are the great sacrificial performances with their sacred fires, oblations, and mantras. Sankhya and Yoga both aim toward him, the one without a second. O assembly members, that unborn Lord, relying solely on himself, creates, maintains, and destroys this cosmos by his personal energies. And thus the existence of this universe depends solely on him. So therein we find the mood of a devotee of God, Bhagavan, the Supreme. Not all religious people are devotees of the Supreme. For example, this man, he considers himself a spiritualist, But his faith is more in line with like the belief system of, say, the Native Americans, who believe in personal powers that you hold, maintain, very capable Leela Shakti Ki Jai. And there are other types of Hindus who believe in various demigods as all equal, sharing divinity, having separate parts of it under their own independent control. So not all devotees of God believe in the supreme God, the one, the unborn, the eternal, all-powerful Bhagavan. Here's Sahadev that says that Krishna creates, maintains, and destroys the universe out of his own personal powers. He does not say Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva do it. He says Krishna does it. He puts all powers onto the Supreme. This is a subtle difference in types of faith. We follow Sahadev. We see Krishna as omnipotent. Omni is all, and potent means potent, so all potent, omnipotent. We can see and understand that there is a supreme, and he creates the demigods, gives them duties, powers, but their all comes from him too. This man's paragraph to me is based on false ego, that I am something special in my temporary body made of dirt and water. This body dissolves back to wet dirt. It's kept alive by a spark of life that has no powers except those granted to him by the Supreme. So I wrote back to him the following: we are eternal living entities in the creation made by a great central deity. That deity is Krishna. We are total subjects. He runs everything. Our ultimate best destination is to be his servants in the eternal spiritual world. This is Gaudiya Vaishnava Hinduism and my faith. Our lives, our power is teetering like a drop of water on the edge of a leaf, could fall at any moment. We are so fragile. We are utterly dependent on him and his creation for our lives. To be into him is sanity. This is my belief system. I feel totally capable of succeeding, but we are dependent on his will as to whether we succeed or not. I try, and he grants success or not. This is true for everyone. The action of trying is ours. The granting of success or not is his. And actually, the ability to try, he grants that too. He grants everything. In one sense, there is only him. He is all that exists. We are expansions, dependent little copies of his nature. He then wrote more to me. I agree in oneness, and all there is oneness. But I feel if we are not reaching our life purpose or potential, then we have unconscious blockages to be exposed and dealt with. My life's potential? By Whose assessment is my life's potential ever understood? Who decides what my purpose or potential is? Me? In false ego? Do I alone decide what my purpose and potential are? With inflated ego, I get to decide for myself what is my purpose and potential? Many persons are very average. Their lives will be average. They will live and die with average lives. That is most people. But they dream huge. All average karmis dream of being bigger than they are. They worship the famous because they are in awe that someone got to be so successful. They are envious of the successful or famous persons actually. Everybody wants to own what the successful and famous own and got. It's envy. In the coming verses, Shishupal tries to put down Krishna for the qualities of his Vrindavan pleasure leelas. For the sake of pleasure, enjoyment, Krishna engages in various pastimes in Vrindavan, including pastimes where he so-called breaks the principles of religion, like associating with married gopis as his own girlfriends, or being a simple cowherd boy. Shishupal tries to put him down for these things. We see that some people in human society today, and always, try to put Krishna down for these reasons. As Krishna says, "Fools deride me when I descend in human form, not knowing my supreme dominion over all that be." There we go again. The fact that he is God, or the supreme controller of everything, is reason to be devoted to him. Sahadev brings this up in that verse, that Krishna is the supreme creator, maintainer, and destroyer of all that be. He is Jagad Ish, universal Lord, Lord of the universe. Fools deride me, not knowing my supreme dominion over all that be. It's a simple concept. God is in control. But most people cannot think that thought because they are immediately envious of God at such a thought. The devotees are different. They think that thought without envy. They assume that thought. This is their humility before God. They are ready to let God be God. They accept God as God. They are not opposed to him like this man is opposed to him who wrote to me, calling Krishna a Hindu image or imaginary God, putting up personal power as a higher concept than service to God. Such is the atheistic mentality. But he mentions my power, my purpose, and my potential. But my power, my purpose, my potential, which comes from the word potency, they are all temporary, fleeting, teetering on a leaf's edge, ready to fall at any moment. I live with a chiropractor, and she has patients, all of whom suffered some accident and were damaged for life. No personal power or potency or potential saved them. No, they were fragile. They suffered some situation which damaged them, and now they suffer some pain, some restriction, something. But that too is temporary. It shall vanish at death, which is soon for all of us. Aging happens very fast. Trust me, I was young yesterday. Today I am old. Tomorrow I will die. Life is so short, and to Krishna it's just a blink, barely anything, basically non-existent. He doesn't think our lives even really exist from his eternal view of things. Time is so relative. When you are in it, it may feel long, but from another perspective, say eternity, it will seem almost non-existent. Like we are in the spiritual world, and we say, let's go live 100 years on the material Earth planet, and then blink, and we're back. In just a flash, we went, lived, and returned, all in a flash. That's eternity. Our so-called personal power is nothing. It is fragile. It is not really existent. Any aged, sane person knows this. If you are aged and getting humbled, you should realize that you were nothing special, and you should turn to God fully. But their enviousness persists, and they go to the grave feeling envious towards God, trying to rationalize that he does not exist, does not really want our full devotion, etc. Where do they think their life comes from? They invent stupid theories like evolution to try to make up the scene that we arise from nothing but nature, from dirt, and that dirt arose from a big bang that took place spontaneously out of nothingness within the universe, creating all the planet dirt, and that planets formed, little ponds formed, little plants formed. They turned into bugs. Bugs turned into monkeys, and monkeys turned into humans. Thus, our life comes from nothingness. Out of nothing we were created, and by the planet we are maintained, and our destruction means nothing. When we die, we are gone. Nothing remains. Thus, the atheists try to invent their way around God, but is such foolishness, as I have just described. To believe their theories requires being an utter idiot, senseless, stupid, faithless. Plus, when we see nature, we devotees, we see intelligent design. They see random chaos. They see a field to exploit. We see a field to serve. We try to deal with everything as good-mannered participants in a grand design, where things like sacrifice to Vishnu have to be performed. And they simply see taking, eating, devouring, using, abusing, wasting, selfishness, enmity, war, killing. This is their way. We see it all around us. They cannot come together to mend problems. They only battle who can take more, who can be on top in the game of material life. They see it as a war, as a game. They play for keeps, for selfishness. This so-called leader that we have denies climate change because he wants to exploit without consequences. He feels you can exploit forever all of nature without consequences. They don't want to believe nature has consequences for our actions, so they pretend to not see the apparent, obvious consequences coming up all around us due to our actions past and present. So Shishupal is all around us in society. So many Shishupals, envious creatures, not seeing the obvious, denying the obvious. To see God's supreme position is innocent. It takes innocence. It is not a grandiose knowledge. It is a simple, innocent vision, awareness, perception, one of purity, willingness to honor what is true, not hate what is true. We devotees see death and see it as a reason to love God now. They see it as a reason to hate God forever. They ignore death, avoid it, don't talk about it, pretend it doesn't exist. We see it. We don't avoid the subject. We see it as a reason to be devoted, because what will I become in my next life is a very sane question to ask. What am I doing in this life in order to get a better next life? That is a very sane thought to have. Let me not do sinful things is a sane plan to follow. For soon we will die, and our consciousness obviously determines our next life. I posted in awareness of Krishna's supreme position. He posted back to me in opposition to Krishna's dominion. He will go down hating Krishna for reducing him in old age down to nothing. We see it simply as the path of all temporary things. All living things are born, they grow, they blossom, have offspring, dwindle and die. It is the path of all material living things. All beings, all plants, all animals, bugs, etc., all living things follow this path. That is life. To accept it as such is sanity. To fight it is insanity. To dream that it is different than that is insanity. To live in opposition to it is insanity. To live in illusion or delusion is insanity. The devotees are the most sane creatures because they see things as they are and deal with them as they are, including seeing the Supreme Lord's hand in all created realities here, his path in all respects, as he puts it. Everyone follows my path in all respects, he says. But most go along these paths, kicking and screaming because they hate the plan of the Lord, the ways of life as made by the Lord. I posted that the Lord alone determines how successful I am as a businessman with my astrology software. And many people came to post their opinions about that message of mine. One other man said that the more he prayed, the worse things got for him, so he doesn't pray anymore. For example, again, seeing himself as the enjoyer, he's seeing life is for me, not life belongs to and is for God. Christianity's followers are often in this illusion that God is their order supplier. They say God is all good, meaning he wants what's best for our material lives. Many go so far as to say Jesus wants us to be rich, not seeing that for one man to be rich, others have to be poor. They get frustrated with God when things do not go their way. They often lose their faith at these points. One woman posted that because I sell my software, it cannot be an offering to Krishna, and that instead I should volunteer in a shelter for homeless people or suffering animals. Again, seeing that material misery is the ugly thing, and real religion is to try to get rid of suffering by direct effort against suffering. The subtle message is that good material life is the aim and not serving God. God does not enter into it for them. They do not see, they are blocked from seeing that if everyone served God, there would be no poverty like we have today, that all would be taken care of by proper economics of God-conscious people. God-conscious people do not set up things in direct opposition to nature, for the sake of profit alone. God-conscious people face problems with solutions, not with ignorance. It is ignorance that is at the root cause of our societal problems today. Everyone and everything speaks about its intentions, its plan, its ways, its mentality, its message. Everything is vibrating and giving off a message. Like the message of this Vyasa-san is that those who speak about Krishna are great. It glorifies them. The Vyasa-san glorifies the person sitting there. Nice backdrop, pointing up to heaven. The Vyasa-san's message is, he who speaks, or she who speaks, about the Bhagavatam, about Krishna, is glorified. That's its message. A car says, my owner is independent and can travel anywhere he likes. Everything has a message. Things that are engaged in the service of the Lord speak a pure message, whereas things not engaged in the Lord's services do not speak a pure message, but rather one of selfishness and exploitation. Intention is key. What is the intended purpose of an action? Is it intended to follow the mode of goodness, for example, or the service of the Lord? Or is it intended to serve our own mode of passion without awareness of the Lord? Shishupal speaks. There's only a couple minutes left, isn't there? And the message is, be envious of God. Put God down. Be yourself proud and puffed up. Follow your false ego to the grave. Be reborn as an ass. So I've got more, but it's almost time. Does anybody have anything they want to say? Please speak up. No? Just says that in the Bible, it says, blessed are those who are pure of heart, for they will see God. It is a pure heart that is open to God, and the devotees have pure hearts. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Ki Jai. Jai.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Bhagom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham
Oh, hey, Vaishnava Chakora, Doyara Sagara, Erase Karuna Kori. Oh, hey, Vaishnava Chakora, Doyara Sagara, Erase Karuna Kori. Dia para jaya sorohe amaya tomara charana dori. Dia para jaya sorohe amaya tomara charana dori. Jaya Begadomi, Jaya Dosha Shori, Jaya Guna Deho Dashe. Jaya Begadomi, Jaya Dosha Shori, Jaya Guna Deho Dashe. Jaya Satsanga Deoe Amare Pose Ji Sangera Ashe. Jaya Satsanga Deoe Amare Pose Ji Sangera Ashe. Ekaki amara nahi payamala harinama sankirtane. Ekaki amara nahi payamala harinama sankirtane. Tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya Deo Krishna namadane. Tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya Deo Krishna namadane. Krishna se tomara Krishna dite paro tomara shakati ache. Krishna se tomara Krishna dite paro tomara shakati ache. Amito Kangala Krishna Krishna boli Daitava pache pache. 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 Oh hey Vaishnava Thakura Doyara Sagara Erase Karuna Kori. Erase Karuna Kori. Diya Pada Jaya Sorohe Amaya Tomara Charana Dori. Diya Pada Jaya Sorohe Amaya Tomara Charana Dori. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda, Shri Radhe. Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka. Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan. Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Guru. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur. O Venerable Vaishnava, O Ocean of Mercy, be merciful unto your servant. Give me the shade of your lotus feet and purify me. I hold on to your lotus feet. Teach me to control my 6 passions, rectify my 6 faults, bestow upon me the 6 qualities, and offer unto me the 6 kinds of holy association. I do not find the strength to carry on alone the Sankirtan of the holy name of Hari. Please bless me by giving me just 1 drop of faith, which to obtain the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give him to me. I am simply running behind you, shouting, Krishna, Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Jeto darpana marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam Sreya kairavya chandrika vitarinam vidyavadu jivanam Anandam buddhi vardhanam pratipanam purnam disaswadanam Sarvatma snapanam padam vijayate Shri Krishna Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarniyami Amita Smadane Nakala Eta Drisita Vakriban Bhagavan Bamapi Durdaiva Midrishangiha Yanina Nuragaha Trinadapi Sunichena Charurapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Jagarisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishvare Bhavatad Bhakti Rahetuki Tvai Ayi Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patita Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddho Kripaya Parvar Pakaja Sutitaya Nayanam Garuda Saunaya Bhagavara Ugagira Pulakarni Chitam Vapukadam Amaham Bhavishati.
You sleep when you're not
Sometimes. Radhisayatam Suyayatam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Vidahena Me Asti Shava Paramanam Nastumam Adarshamam Barkam Kadkarutova Yatatata Remelam Lampat Mat Prana Natas Tusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years, and it extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully take shelter. Oops, oh my Lord. Panting alone, render all benedictions to living beings. And thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. They are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of your kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord. Unconditionally. Shri Shikshastakam ki jai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai. Thank you, Mother Chaitanya, for dressing Shri Shri Radha Golokananda every Monday for many years, or some every week for many years, many years, unless she's infirm or away. She dresses Sri Sri Radha Golokananda. And also Santosh dressed Giriraj. Each day someone different dresses Giriraj. Sometimes, Mahamantra's not here, but he was doing. Krishna Priya dresses Giriraj, worships Giriraj. Santosh, Dairadika, pretty much all the pujaris take turns. Jadharani, Gopi, myself, Sundari, we all can have the good fortune of taking a turn to worship Giriraj. And Sundari and I are cooking breakfast. Thank you so much to the cooks, all glories to the cooks. And today, Arjuna Abhimanyu Das, who is a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami, is going into his either third or fourth reconstructive surgery.